Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 One Club story from Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. We're back today to continue our debut Premier League season, and as you can see, our name has largely cropped behind my head now, which is probably where you expected us to be, rather than where we came back in the last episode. The positives, financially things are looking great, and we've got a massive chance today. We're at home to Sheffield United, who are 2 places and 1 point behind us. And if we can beat them, we should keep our heads just above the water going into the new year. So if you're looking forward to seeing if we can do that, as well as a big trip to Moneybags Newcastle, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories. I don't want to give too much of a spoiler for the next episode, because I'm not going to show it today. But I have finally dipped into the transfer market to go big in January. So there's some players coming in on the 1st of next month, and we'll meet them in the next episode. And we've also had to start to offer the new contracts because the dynamics were getting crushed. But I've been making big use of the 50% wage drop if we get relegated. You can support the show as a channel member if you wish to, and there's links in the eye above to the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and so much more. Thank you as always for your incredible support. But we've got to get cracking here because this is an important game. Probably one of the biggest ones of the season. And you can see, we were talking about that big win against Brighton, the first win of the season, that really got us talking and thinking we might survive. Well, they're bottom on 6 points after 15 games, so we did just play the weakest team in the league, and probably the one side that's weaker than us. So let's go and have a look at what's been happening since you were last with me. We've got a youth intake preview to look at as well. And I think it's fair to say, as we haven't won now in 9 league games, that we are being harmed massively by injuries, by unhappiness, and by playing players out of position. Tommy Samuels was the big issue. He got injured not long after the last episode. I think it might have been in the following game, actually. He's out for a hip injury for 3 months. He's almost on his way back now. But not having him has meant we've had to change the shape and personnel at the back, and it's just not worked. So let's cover the 6 Premier League games we have played. A 6-3 defeat at Spurs. I was actually really pleased in the end to lose this 6-3 because we were 4 down in 9 minutes. But we did fight back. We got to 4-3 thanks to a Josh O'Connor hat-trick, but just ran out of steam late on when chasing it. Remarkably, we did pick up a point at home to Chelsea. They equalised late on, but it was Ricky J. Jones who again won us another point officially. A 3-2 defeat at Leicester was really disappointing. Again, we'd fought back from 2-0 down to 2-2 with J. Jones and Doyle getting the goals. But Harvey Barnes came to the late rescue and got Leicester the 3 points. And these are the fine margins we're talking about. Another late goal conceded against Liverpool after going down to 10 men. That's happened a few times this year, suggesting how much we're being stretched. Ricky J. Jones has scored an early penalty, but we just couldn't hold on. A 2-0 defeat at Southampton was pretty regulation, to be honest. But then a big 0-0 draw at Palace, a game we got battered in. But a few players played really well. The goalkeeper was absolutely sensational. And crucially, we stopped the rot. And if we can get a win today, I really believe we've got an opportunity. And when we get to transfer deadline day in January for the next episode, thankfully, we're also playing Villa and Brighton at home. 2 of the sides, if you look at the moment, that we might be able to compete with, both in the bottom 3. When you consider where we are, the fact that Ricky is still the 2nd top scorer in the league shows you just how much of an impact he's had. I'd love to get a new partner to match him next year, but I'm not sure we're going to be able to. But maybe the next gem will come through our own youth intake, because if we go and have a look at the preview, it is rated as a potential golden generation. Now, we've seen this message a number of times and it hasn't happened. We also know that a golden generation compared to our squad might not necessarily mean Premier League standards still, but there's a potential of getting a few prospects, and one of the A-rated ones is a striker. So let's hope, let's cross our fingers. We'd love to get one we can produce ourselves. If I take you through to the squad screen very quickly, just so you can see what's going on the wage front. So the first little wave of players have had their new deals. There's 6 of them in total, but all of them have got massive wage cuts if we go down, between 40 and 50%. So Ricky, if we go down, would go to 14 grand a week, and he would be the highest paid player in the Championship. It shows you how much we're taking off the rest. But it does leave us in a better position than we were, with a bit of stability, because the last thing we want is to get relegated, which is a very realistic chance, and then completely lose our squad and have to rebuild from scratch again. So having that core of players in should make things a little easier to deal with for us. The big problem, though, if we're being honest, is a lack of centre-halves. We've had to move Albi Armin into the middle, Thornhill to left-back, and look, Thornhill's not a Premier League player, and Albi Armin isn't good enough at centre-half. It's not his best position. So today, they're going to have to try and cope. It's going to be one hell of a test, but it is such a big game. If Sheffield United beat us, we'll definitely be in the relegation zone, and it will leave us with work to do. If we win, even just the confidence of seeing yourselves move up to 14th, 15th, 16th, it can make a difference. So let's try and keep our heads above the water. Let's try and get a big win. We'll get through and pick our 11 for the game. It's going to be a very crucial one in our season. Okay, some heavy match loads and a couple of players where I'm just going to tweak the system a bit. So I'm freshening up the midfield with Camoy Richardson and Terry Clark. The rest of it is hoping at this stage. We've got John Moore in goal, Ryan Young and Paul Thornhill the fullbacks, with Armin in at centre-half alongside the returning Max Taylor. Egan, Flores, Richardson and Clark in a much rotated midfield. And then Ricky J. Jones with Josh O'Connor up front. Hopefully able to do the business tonight. Plenty on the bench if we need to, but this squad, it needs more strength. And it needs cup football to keep people fit. That's not a priority for the moment though. We have to avoid defeat here. That is imperative. And we could really do with getting a win. Let's see if we can. Let me know in the comments if you think we will. It's 3 changes for us from the draw at Palace. The difference between us and a lot of these other sides, as you can see with Sheffield United, they can make 6 and still have a decent team out. The likes of Abada, we know is a good player. Different Luis Suarez. Knowing Kene at centre-half with Ben Nelson. I just need to nick it. I don't care if it's a scrappy 1-0, a crazy 5-4. If we can get a result, keep Ricky fit, all is well in the world. These are the sorts of games we have to win. Well, the stats look pretty promising early on, but we're back for a Sheffield United corner, which Egan heads away well. Finds Ricky J. Jones on the right, who's always trying to counter from them. And it has been one of our shining lights this season, the leaving 2 up from a corner. It's been more effective in this league than arguably any other. As we keep possession well with Young. Got 2 in at centre-half. Taylor finds Egan, who's dropped in, gives it to Terry Clark again, and Richardson should be the freshest legs in the team. That is absolutely awful from Camoy Richardson, and then he's brought him down as well. What the hell are you doing, man? Oh, that's going to be his last start for us. I was umming and ahhing about selling him in January anyway. There was interest in him. What a stupid decision in midfield on possession, and then a stupid decision to bring him down as well. Absolute clown. And with 9 minutes gone, we're behind in a crucial game. And you cannot legislate for idiocy. Well, 16 minutes on the clock. We've got to recover and the teammates have got to pick themselves up after Richardson's stupid decision. As Young gets down the right, he's made a brilliant run here. Delivers towards Ricky J. Jones. Oh, you're joking. How did the second one not go in? The first one hit the woodwork. I was ready to celebrate when he had an open goal. And he somehow missed it. The corner's headed away. Clark will chase it out on the right. And he's got time in possession. But he gets caught on the ball as well. Egan wins it back. But it's so slow and lethargic. And despite having at least 1 for the expected goals now, we trail, we haven't had a shot on target. And we continue to show where the quality's missing. As here comes Sheffield United down the right with Rodriguez to Abada. Rodriguez again chips it forward towards Suarez. Back into midfield. He's already had his gift today. As here's Jensen Weir. Up down the left-hand side. Plenty of time on the ball again. We're not closing down particularly well. It's back to Myers and Weir. Inside to Anderson. He's got time on the ball. It's a good save from Moore. But this is the difference. A game that we had all the momentum in has now gone away. How Richardson's got a 6.7 rating, by the way. I will never understand. As O'Connor clears long towards Jones. It's not really a great position for him to nick something, is it? And he's got no support at all. So he just holds it up by the corner flag and wins the throw. That's all he can do. And we ain't going to be scoring like that. As we're 3 minutes to half time, we're back with Sheffield United, who distribute quickly from the goalkeeper. Myers down the left. And look, we've come back from 2 goals down a couple of times this year. And we're only 1 down here. But the manner of it is so defeating. And the fact we haven't won in about 3 months doesn't help. And now we are going to have to come back from 2 down because the defence is non-existent. We've been beaten by a pretty straight ball over the top, if we're being honest. And you have to start to think now, after a little honeymoon start, this is exactly what we expected. Getting battered every week, even by the bottom teams in the league. Over 1 expected goal, no shots on target. and we're going to point the finger. I tell you what, Cammy Richardson can come off as well. I would have taken him off in the 10th minute if I hadn't been so annoyed. I'll bring on Leo Hubert again, but I'm furious. The manner of it is so frustrating. Well, an hour gone, literally nothing to be seen, so I'm going to take O'Connor off up front. Look, none of the replacements are good enough, but I can't just sit here and do nothing. Flores is tired, he'll be replaced by Georgie, and we'll go attacking. Just try and chase the game, but where on earth do you start with a performance like this? And it's the same story as the last episode, isn't it? A game that's pretty even, with lots of individual errors. John Moore made 3 against Wolves to cost us the game. Cammy Richardson here. And it looks like it's going to be too late again as Jones finds Clark. Whitey Young on the right-hand side. Jones is into the box, but it's under hit. And the other Suarez can bring it away. Myers chips forward. Armin and Egan get caught under each other's toes, but Taylor brings it down for Georgie. He goes back to Max Taylor again. Where is the through ball? Where's the moment of magic? Where's the intent to go forward? There it is from Armin. Jones gets down the right. Chance to cross. There's 3 or 4 in the middle. Cuts back to Georgie. Into Hubert. He puts it over the bar on his weak foot. When you look at the ruthlessness from 12 shots each, for them to have 9 on target and us to have 2, there's a very clear difference in quality. And again, where we're playing 2 games a week, we haven't got the legs to compete. So with 3 minutes of stoppage time gone, we're in the relegation zone. We're in worlds of trouble. And these January signings are going to need to make one hell of an impact. Well, fitness test time. And I don't know if we should be concerned that non-league clubs are making loan offers for players in our first team squad, albeit backup ones. That can't be good though, can it? Let's move through to the fixture. It's another Wednesday night, and this is where it begins to get very tough for us, because in the bottom 3, now we've got to look up and find something from somewhere. And with another 2 weeks and 3 or 4 games before we get any of those new signings in, we know it's going to be an uphill battle. We're being recommended to make changes. I dread to think who is and isn't fit. So only Ryan Young is listed as not fit. And unfortunately, he was the best player at the weekend. So I'm going to play him again today. We've got United at the weekend, which is a free hit. We'll take everyone out for that and defend backs to the wall. I'm going to go for the same squad, except Richardson, of course, out for Hubert. Terry Clark was okay. He can stay in. We've just not got enough options. We haven't got enough quality. And we desperately need to sort this defence out and get Armin back to left back. 2 weeks to go until that can happen. For now, though, it is just, I think, the one change. Hubert in for Richardson, who was ridiculous in the last game. And this is the harder of the 2, but we almost need a victory now. And of course, Newcastle have splashed the cash over the years. They've got Sean Dyche in charge. They've got a team that includes the likes of Renato Sanchez, James Ward-Prowse, Leon Bailey, Dwight McNeil, Maxi Gomez, who always ends up at Newcastle and scores bagfuls of goals, Gabriel at centre-half, Lamptey right back. It's a never-ending list. Even the bench, Rafinha, Boadu, Romero, Cook, quality all about. Let's see if we can somehow compete. I'm not sure it's going to work out. But you never know. Newcastle complacency and maybe a smash and grab. But 10 Premier League games without a win. Got a sneaky suspicion it might become 11. Corner kick for Newcastle early on as Ward-Prowse puts the ball in. Maxi Gomez with a free header just goes wide. But let's be fair, 10 minutes. Nearly half the games this season we've not held out for that long, so we've got to be pleased with it. It's not one of the games we'd expect to get anything from, but it's now one where we've got to think about it. I guess the positive, let's look at the positive side of things. 10 points separates 8th from 19th. Make that 11 points now because we've just dropped one. Maxi Gomez puts his header in, another free one from a set piece. You cannot compete. We're worse physically, we're worse mentally, and we're miles worse technically. And because of the Sheffield United game, I now think, have we really got a chance? Teams are finding us out. The diamond's getting caught. We need these January signings to make a big impact. We'll meet them next time, but by then they will have played a few games and it will have been in now or never territory for them. As Sanchez picks the ball up to Gabriel. Newcastle with 5 to the break. Pretty content with 1-0, but they wouldn't mind a second here, I'm sure. And it was on the stroke of half time. We did it against Sheffield United. As Leon Bailey's in, it's good goalkeeping from Moore. And you got to say, despite that one game against Wolves last time in the last episode, it's been pretty good for us so far. As Armin, out from the back to Thornhill. Back to Armin again, into Hubert, who's got space to turn, up to O'Connor. Can we get Ricky in behind? It's our only hope. Egan up, there he is. Just onside, I think. Blaze, is it? Jones is offside anyway. But this is the problem. Where we've been that poor, he's not even getting chances to score now. And at half-time, I feel our luck is running out. And I think we're going to go down unless, on the 1st of January, the boys that we're bringing in have an impact like we've never seen before. Well, 10 minutes gone in the second half. We'd nicked the ball high up the pitch, but Clark gives it straight back to them. It's just, even things like the passing quality, it's just not there. As Lamptey comes down the right again, goes back to Ward-Prowse. Into centre-half to Mehmet and Gabriel. No pressure on him as he switches to McNeil. Young can't make it because he's knackered. He's on a yellow card. Kayo George is in. He's put it wide. I am going to take Young off now because there's no point risking a red card to him. And he was knackered at the start. He shouldn't have even been playing. I might take the other fullback off as well. Let's bring Mackenzie on for Thornhill. And then Josh O'Connor can come off for Bichelle. I'll just wait for this highlight first though. You know my superstition. Not sure it'll matter on this occasion because Newcastle completely in control. As Ward-Prowse releases Sanchez. Great ball up. Armin intercepts for Clark. To Hubert. Back to Egan and Clark. Feels like a long time ago now. I was breaking my chair, celebrating those early season victories. And that's an aimless ball. Those are the sort of ones where we were breaking in behind earlier in the year. As Bennett Sharif heads away to Flores. Back to Scott Egan. To Taylor. A long highlight always means a glorious chance. But which end will it be at? Jones is released down the right. There's two in the middle. Can he get it across? It's back to Flores. Into Clark. Shots blocked and cleared. Sanchez gets it up to Taylor. And he's intercepted. Bichelle comes on. 20 minutes to go. We're going to encourage the lads, but I think we've had our best chances in this game as Boadu finds Kayo George. Over the top and Armin intercepts. He's doing his best covering at centre-half. Jones has skinned his defender though. He's in one-on-one. He's got the legs. Has he got the finish? Ricky J. Jones, you beauty. Smash and grab on the counter. And we've nicked a goal against the run of play. Please let us cling on. Just pick up some points. Keep ourselves close before January. Even with the draw, we're 2 points behind now. But a point would just make a big difference. In those games you don't expect, some bonus results can go a long way. We're into stoppage time. There are 4 minutes of it. Please don't concede. We can't go defensive because we need to get really a win if we can. As Armin heads away again, but it falls for Lamptey. We've had this heartbreak already this year. Releases Boadu in towards Kayo George. Oh, we can't defend. Mackenzie's non-existent. He's a League One player. You can't blame Moore for that. 1-on-1 from 8 yards. He can do nothing. Armin caught a left centre-half. The positioning's not right, but it's not his position. And in the 93rd minute, we blow our point. And that means we're now 3 points from safety. God, we need more signings than the ones I've got, and we need one hell of an impact. Let's go and have a look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back. But things are looking ominous now, aren't they? 3 points behind Villa. I mean, that's going to be the next episode, isn't it? And then Brighton at home. Those two games, with transfer deadline day, are going to decide the season. Are we going to regret not doing those deals when we could have? I don't know. We're even starting to get criticism from the board and the fans here, which, considering we've come up 5 divisions, is utterly ridiculous. But you know what football fans are like. Let's go and have a look at that schedule as things get very, very tough. Basically, we've just got to get through the rest of this month. I know we've got Villa away, probably not an easy task, but then 2 of the bigger sides at home. Then the new signings come in. Then we're back to 1 game a week. But we will be back for Aston Villa, the last game of January, and transfer deadline day. I might even show Brighton, depending on what the table's like. And realistically, in the 6 or 7 games off camera, we need to get 1 or 2 wins. And I don't know where they're coming from. Hopefully, we can find a way to get these lads back in it. Whether it's a morale boosting friendly, whether it's the addition of new signings. We'll meet some of the ones we've already pre-agreed in the next episode. But if you did enjoy this, and seeing what you probably expected now from the start of the season, then please do put a thumbs up on the video, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on for daily FM22 content. We'll be back tomorrow with a summer transfer deadline day from the head coach. We had a big transfer special yesterday and you can find that up in the eye above. And then in 2 days' time, it's the January window closing here and there's already going to be some blockbuster stuff going on. I'm going to take a gamble. We've got ourselves in a semi-competitive position and I want to try and take advantage. There's also links in the eye above to the Twitch channel and the football podcast for entertainment in the meantime. But I'll put yesterday's summer transfer special from the head coach above my head. Thank you for watching and seeing the decline. We'll be back again in 2 days here.